Going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back another video day, and today the Houston Rockets are going to be playing their 60th game of the regular season against the Sacramento Kings, and we're going to be previewing it. Man, that sounds crazy to say. 60th game of the season. Only 22 games left in the season. I mean, I'm so excited for the playoffs. So I guess that's a good. It's so sad to see how quick the season has gone, but at least with being a Rockets fan, of course. This team's going to be hopefully in the playoffs. It would take a huge setback for them not to be in the playoffs. And so, it's going to be great to have them in the playoffs most likely this year, or at least the play. I mean, we know they're at least going to be in the play, and they're not falling out of the top 10 seed. So maybe there is a possibility I could see this team falling out of the top 6 seed, although I think it is very impossible that happens. But regardless, the Rockets will be in the play-in or the playoffs, and that's something they have not been in since James Harden left Houston. And so that is what I'm excited for as we are ending the season in a month and a half, basically. Yeah, a month and a half. Let's get into this game. Rockets playing the Kings. Need to get a win against the Sacramento team, man. I mean, Rockets have that's been one of their struggles this year, beating Sacramento. 0-2 against them this year. Both losses in Sacramento to the Kings. Now, I will say, this team, yes, have they not beat the Kings this year, but, there's no De'Aaron Fox this time. Fox played in both of the wins against the Rockets, and so maybe that changes things. Although, the Kings, they have Zach LaVine and Jonas Valanciunas now, so they still got a good team. And this is a big game for the Kings. The Kings are gonna come out and they're gonna start swinging in this game. I think this is a big game for them. Minnesota's been losing a lot, and at this point now, Sacramento is only a half a game back from being the 9 seed, and that's a huge switch for Sacramento if you want that 9 seed, because that's starting off from having to win a play-in game in Minnesota to then switching to hosting a play-in game, hosting Minnesota. So it'd be a lot easier to beat Minnesota in Sacramento than in Minnesota. And so if those are the 9 and 10 seeds right there. And Sacramento is a lot closer now to the Minnesota Timberwolves since Minnesota's dropped a couple games recently. One of those losses to these Rockets. But I think this is going to be a fun game, and the big headliner in this one for the Rockets is Fred VanVleet is back. Missed like 11, 12. He missed like the last 11 games for this Rockets team. He's been out since February 2nd. Missed basically the entire month of February. First game the Rockets played in February, which was against the Brooklyn Nets. He got hurt. So first game, he only played like one quarter of basketball. He got hurt in like the first or second quarter in that game against Brooklyn when the Rockets were playing in Houston against Brooklyn. So he really only played 1 or 2 quarters of basketball in the month of February. So basically he was out the entire month of February, and now the Rockets get him back. That's going to be great to see for this Houston Rockets team. And anybody wondering about the starting lineup, what it looks like now that both Fred and Jabari are back. Jabari's off the bench. Fred's starting. He's going to be starting with Jalen, Dylan, Amen, and of course Alperen Şengün. And this is going to be a new change to this Rockets team. We haven't seen Fred and Amen start together. When Jabari's been healthy. I mean, look, sure, have you seen Fred and Amen Thompson in the same starting lineup? When Jabari was injured, of course. I mean, we saw that, but when Jabari's been healthy this season, we've not seen Fred and Amen in the same starting lineup together with Jalen and Şengün and Dylan. So this is the first time we're going to see this lineup on the floor together. This lineup of Fred, Amen, Jalen, Dylan, and Şengün when Jabari's coming off the bench, and you got Tari coming off the bench. So this is going to be a new thing for this Rockets team, and I'm excited to see it. And honestly, I'm down with it because I think the Rockets need some energy off the bench, and I think Jabari's played better basketball off the bench. He had a solid game the other night against San Antonio, but I look at games like he had against the Milwaukee Bucks. He had an amazing game against the Bucks. played a big role in that win against Minnesota. He came off the bench his first game back from the injury and looked great. So I think he's played better basketball as a bench player than a starter since he came back from injury. And so I think him and Tari off the bench, that's something you don't want to deal with. Same thing when teams had to deal with Amen Thompson and Tari off the bench. And so I'm excited to see it. Amen Thompson has played way too good as a starter to not be, not be a starter. He averaged 17 and 9. He's averaged 17-9 as a starter, like 5 assists. So he needs to be a starter. But let me know your thoughts on this game as the Rockets will try to improve to 38-22 as they've won 2 in a row. They'll try to be third win in a row and get the hottest they've been in a while. But they're playing some good basketball and now they're fully healthy. Nobody's on the injury report for this game for the Rockets. Only guy that's on the injury report is Cody Zeller, a guy who's never put on a Rockets uniform. So he doesn't count. The Kings, I'm going to remind everybody, Kings are fully healthy tonight as well. So I think this will be a fun matchup at Toyota Center. Let's go Rockets.